Whether you're already in project management, a new project manager, or somebody who communicates with a project manager, there's something in this video for you. Have you ever been in a meeting and they're tossing around all these terms and all this jargon and you're nodding your head along, but you really don't know what's going on and you're just lost? In the PMBOK, there's over 300 terms. That doesn't include what's in Agile and Six Sigma, and it feels like a different language. But don't worry, in this video, we're gonna simplify it. I have over 20 years experience as a project manager, and I didn't just go to ChatGPT and pull out 20 terms or 10 terms and regurgitate them back to you. These are 10 terms that I actually believe will help you if you stick through this video. They're terms that have tripped up people that I've trained, people that I've worked with, and people that I've worked for. I've grouped these terms into 3 buckets, so that way the similar terms and the related ones can be easier to convey and understand. But before we dive in, I do want to let you know that there is one term that I do believe that if you stick around until the end will help you succeed in all of your projects. Now, the first 3 terms that we're going to discuss here I call core terms. They're very foundational in nature, so I've kind of grouped them together, and those are the ones that we'll talk about now. The first term is scope. Now, scope can sometimes be confused with an objective. Scope is clearly defined. That's the difference between an objective and a scope. In that clear definition, scope defines what you're trying to deliver in that project. I'm talking about the work to accomplish the objective. Scope represents the boundaries of the project. It's what's included and what's excluded. It's not the timeline or the cost. It's strictly about the deliverable and the tasks. Features and functionality that are out of scope are also documented to define clearly what we're not going to accomplish as part of the main scope. For the second term, I'm going to go into stakeholder. Some people confuse stakeholder with client, but client is one of the stakeholders. A stakeholder is anybody who has interest in the project. This includes the client, as well as the sponsor, as well as the team members. This list is not inclusive of everybody. It's just an example of the top 3 that we typically think of when we talk about stakeholders. Some of the parameters that I use to determine who a stakeholder is are folks that are providing resources, funding, or requirements. Number 3 is deliverables. Now, deliverables can sometimes get confused as tasks, but these are 2 completely different things. So deliverables are the tangible outcomes or outputs of the project. They're products, services, or results that your team is responsible for providing. Deliverables can be anything from a functional app to a completed report. The basic premise of a deliverable is a tangible, functional output, the end result. The next set of terms I call execution and scheduling terms. These are the next level terms that are really needed in order to properly work in a project. These terms come up when you're trying to structure, track, and execute a project. The first one that you may have heard is called work breakdown structure, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a structure in order to break the work up into manageable components. Think of it like a family tree for tasks. A WBS is going to give you clarity on what needs to be done and what is next in the sequence. Now, the next one is foundational in project management. So when you're speaking to a project manager, or if you happen to be a project manager, you're going to talk about the Gantt chart. Now, the Gantt chart is just a graphical representation of your project. It shows your project timeline, it shows your tasks, the durations, and the dependencies. It shows if task A must finish before task B starts, the chart is going to visually connect them. It's like a roadmap for your project's timeline. Going hand in hand with a Gantt chart is a critical path. Everybody's heard, is this on the critical path? This is exactly what that means. The critical path is the longest sequence of dependent tasks in a project that determines the shortest possible project duration. Any delay in a task on the critical path is going to delay the entire project. Now, this may seem counterintuitive, but it's important to understand that the critical path represents the minimum amount of time needed to complete a project, given the dependencies between the tasks. By focusing on the critical path, Project managers can prioritize tasks, allocate resources, and effectively mitigate risks to ensure timely project completion. The next section is collaboration and change terms. Now, these are terms that are related to team management and adjustments to projects. The first one is RACI. This term doesn't really get confused with other terms as much as it does what goes into it. RACI is a framework used to define roles and responsibilities. RACI stands for responsibility, accountability, consulted, and informed. The RACI chart clarifies who does what. It helps to avoid overlaps and confusion. The next two have to do with making changes to projects. So there's a right way to do project change and a wrong way to do it. The first one we're going to talk about is change management. Change management often gets confused with change control, but with change management, it's how we manage the change, the process of which we manage the change to the project's scope, timeline, or budget. Change management ensures that changes are evaluated, approved, and implemented without compromising project success. In every project, there's going to be some type of change. Now, on the flip side of that, there's something called scope creep. Now, scope creep is something that every project manager needs to be concerned about. It's something that every stakeholder should be concerned about, and it's something that's definitely going to come up whenever a change is needed. It typically happens when additional work is added to a project without adjusting the timeline, the cost, and the resources. This can be very detrimental to a project as you weren't planning for these changes to occur, and it can impact the overall success of a project. Small changes that add up over time incrementally can derail a project's success. So like I said, it is something that everybody needs to be aware of, and you will hear this term in any project you happen to be involved with. The next section that we're going to talk about is risk and quality terms. A risk is something that could potentially have an impact on your project in the future. An issue is currently impacting your project. Now, I did promise you that I would give you a bonus term. I did kind of put a little thing in the background and it moved around. If you saw what it was, put it in the comments, but I'll go ahead and tell you what the bonus term is now, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. This bonus term is definition of done. The definition of done is a checklist that everybody agrees upon up front to confirm when something is actually finished. An example of this would be a software development project. There'd be a feature in it, and we would say that it would not actually be done until it's coded, tested, and deployed with a sign-off. Without a clear definition, you risk delivering work that does not meet expectations. Thanks for watching, and if you found this kind of content helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, put some comments below so we can connect, learn, and innovate together.